Hello, I just wanted to pop in here for a moment, and we're already through the middle of January 2019. And I've been taking some time to reflect upon 2018, and I just wanted to share with you three things that really stood out for me in 2018 that I discovered. Some things that I learned about myself. And as much as we can have experiences throughout life, I feel that for me anyway, there can be lessons that I've already learnt and yet I learn them on a deeper level, or I can actually see them from a higher perspective. So, three of the things that I learned that really stood out for me, and number one is that moving into 2018 saw me in a space of spreading my wings on my own. Late 2017, I had decided to dissolve a business partnership. And so what I discovered moving into 2018 was while I was finding my balance and finding my own space to be sharing what I share on my own, I discovered that I have a lot more strength, I've got a lot more knowledge and a lot more wisdom than I realized. And I discovered that I'm so much more capable than what I maybe was led to believe or what I believed of myself. So when we go through a change with relationships and there's a dissolving of a relationship, so whether it's a business partnership, it may be a marriage, it might be a long-term relationship or a friendship, it's helping us to remember that there's always been that energetic connection over that time. And then when you go out on your own or you're now moving through life on your own, you're finding that new balance. You're finding your balance and that energy that you bathe in. So trusting that if you are going through a change in that a type of a relationship, or if you have already moved through that, then understanding that it's about need to be kind to yourself. You need to remember that bring the focus back to you and come back to your center and stop allowing yourself to buy into other people's stuff, for want of a better expression. Remember to come back to yourself and knowing, as I did when I made that decision to dissolve the partnership and move forward, knowing that it was for everyone's highest good. I set my intentions on what I wanted in life, and I'm incredibly grateful for all that I learned and all that was shared with me in that connection. And once again, it's the same whether it's in a marriage or in friendships, that when the time comes, it can sometimes be like autumn leaves falling from the trees. And when the time comes and autumn comes and those leaves are falling from the trees, no matter what that tree does, it's just very natural for those leaves to fall to the ground. They then help the tree by becoming that matter on the ground and helping the tree to grow more. So if you see those connections that you've had with people, which have then subsequently come to a natural end, it's knowing that there's lots of reasons, and sometimes more than you ever know, as to why that you came together with that person or those people, and then why it has ended. But it's ensuring too that what I feel is focusing on the highest good for yourself and for others. So if you're in a situation where you're maybe wanting to make that decision, or you're in a situation where you're wondering, ask yourself to be guided to make decisions and have choices that are for your highest good and the highest good of the other person or the other people. And you will find that it will all fall into place just beautifully, and you'll be fine no matter what happens in your life. Number two is 2018 saw me turn 51, and I feel blessed with every birthday I have. I actually love every day. I truly do. I wake up and I always say every day is a blessing, and it's about living life to the fullest. And 2018 saw me turn 51, and it was a very interesting day for me. It was the second thing I want to share with you that I learnt or discovered in 2018 on a new level was I already knew that our body speaks very loudly to us. And sometimes we just need to listen a little bit, or we need to listen a little bit more. But on the day of my birthday, I woke up, I was feeling numb, I was tingling, I just wanted to go back to sleep. And I had a photo shoot planned for that day, and that was something that I was really looking forward to. And yet, when I was thinking about doing it, my body was just going like into shutdown and wanting me to just go back to sleep. And I did a lot of umming and ahhing, because I'd committed to this photo shoot on the day of my birthday. And I was very excited because it was it was photo shoot for my website, my new website that I created at the end of last year. But what happened was, because I felt the way I felt, I decided to postpone the photo shoot. The moment I made the call, the moment I said that I'd like to postpone it, and that was all agreed to, my body was filled with energy. So I feel there was a message there for me to just listen and know that I needed to recognize that for whatever reason, which actually became a little bit more apparent that day, I needed to take some time out for me. And what I discovered was, on that day, I did end up just naturally, organically, I ended up sitting on the lounge with my son Thomas. And we did a lot of chatting, deep discussions, soul searching, reflection, because previously, so 12 months prior, on the day of my 50th birthday, I actually spent the day in the hospital with Thomas. He was in ICU because he'd had some emergency life-saving surgery the night before. And that's for another day, that story. But he'd had surgery the night before. He was in ICU on my 50th birthday, and that's where I spent my birthday. And I recognized that the trauma that came from that, I knew it was still there, but I recognized that the trauma that came from that event 12 months previously, that I felt it showed up for me on that day, exactly 12 months later, for me to take the time and be able to actually sit down and spend some really beautiful time with Thomas. And even though we'd done that over the 12 months, for some reason, the universe, my body, his body, needed to make way for that. And that's why I feel I needed to cancel or postpone that appointment that I'd created for that day and actually go with the flow, which I did. So that lesson number 2, that discovery I made in 2018, was about learning to listen to our bodies. And when you stop and tune into your body, and whether you have sore shoulders and you simply ask yourself, am I carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders? If you have a sore neck, and saying, well, do you speak in the terms of that person is a pain in the neck? And sometimes it can be the most simple thing of listening to our body, and then also listening to the words we speak or the thoughts we think, and making some changes. And it can just change one thing. Changing one word in the sentence of how you think, and that energetically changes your body, your physical structure, and what's happening for you. And you really will discover that your body is constantly speaking to you. So when you're healthy, it's saying thank you for feeding me beautiful food, fresh air, water, and also healthy thoughts, because our thoughts affect our body. So that's the second lesson. And the third one was, I discovered the power of becoming my own best friend. And when I shared that with the weekly group that I have, their eyes just lit up and they went, oh my goodness. And one lady in particular, she was fascinated by the concept of being her own best friend. And so in 2018, I have really connected and set my intentions for being my own best friend. And the things that I discovered by doing that was, I discovered that I'm always available whenever I need somebody. I can always say and speak to myself in a way that I love to be spoken to. I can ask myself questions that maybe nobody else could ask me. I could answer myself really truthfully and honestly, which I can do with other people, but it takes it to a new level. I discovered that I'm actually finding that I am happier, I am healthier. I create time to spend time with myself as my own best friend. I go for walks along the beach. I invite myself to go and sit sit outside and have a cup of tea. I invite myself to read a book or listen to a podcast. I spend a lot of time with myself. And what I found by being my own best friend is I feel that I can now be an even better friend to everyone else that I'm friends with, everyone that I'm connected with. I feel by having that connection with myself, it gives me the opportunity to share and connect more deeply with others. So the three things that I discovered was by dissolving a partnership, I discovered that I am much stronger and have a lot of courage and a lot of wisdom. The birthday, I celebrated my 51st birthday, and what I discovered was the power of the body, the language the body speaks to us. And when we just quieten our mind and listen, we hear all that we need to hear, and we are guided along the way. And the third thing was to be my own best friend. So I encourage you, if it resonates with you, to become your own best friend and love spending time with yourself, because I love spending time by myself. I love connecting with my friends, but I also love spending time with myself. I just have so much fun. So those are the three things. Maybe a little bit of time for you to reflect on where you were or what happened for you in 2018 and what stood out for you. So until next time, sending you an abundance of love and wishing you an incredibly beautiful day. Bye for now.